But
Right.
that was kind of the point of the movie, that autistic children can tap into that
The supernatural.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're a little more receptive and whatnot. So I don't know why I can't think of the actor's name. I don't want to keep calling him Bruce Wayne, but he plays the child, of course.
Right. Well,
how was the acting? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
Nope. I'll go ahead and start talking about that.
Let's talk about some good things first. That's why I'm talking about the acting.
Okay.
I'm sorry all these people were stuck in this movie.
Yeah, I felt the acting was kind of flat throughout. I don't think it was their fault. Well, that's one of the things that I was going to say. As I was watching this, it evoked feelings of when I first sat down to watch Unbreakable.
Okay.
And when I first started to watch, I want to say Insidious. Like, things were a little strained in the family, and I thought, okay, so as it started playing out, I felt like, okay, these, maybe it's gonna be a reveal that there's other family issues throughout this, and this is why everybody feels a little strained in the way they're acting and the little way they're interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And that, without going too far into that was sort of revealed, but it still just felt kind of flat throughout. I don't feel like I got dynamic performances, and I'm not sure. Like I said, that could entirely be the writing. What I wanted to talk about, first of all, was that exciting shots throughout the Grand Canyon that we were able to enjoy.
Oh, man. That did not help.
Well, for other people, they probably wouldn't have cared. The fact that we were just there at Red Rock Canyon.
Yeah.
Perhaps in the very...
I think they were climbing on our rock that we were taking pictures on. So we know it was only 2 hours or 3 hours from our house here in Los Angeles. It was not the Grand Canyon.
Now, should we have said spoiler alert before we ruined that for everybody? I don't. It doesn't figure that much into the film.
No.
It's just funny in the opening that it's like, wait, isn't that red? Wasn't I standing in that camping spot that they're standing in right now?
Yeah, I wish they'd actually gone to the Grand Canyon.
Either that, or even put some stock shots in it from the Grand Canyon. That maybe would have helped. But anyhow,
because the shots where it was showing him like going down the highway, and it had aerial shots. I'm sure they took with a drone or whatever they do these days. But it was like, oh my gosh, there's the highway we drove up and down. Because when we went to Red Rock Canyon, we missed it because it's suddenly like you're on a highway. It's a mountain highway. There wasn't a lot of cars, but there's no roads anywhere. It's just you're going through the mountains. But then all of a sudden it's like a left turn. Yeah. And it was like, oh crap, we just missed it. So you had to turn around and come back. But they filmed them driving in that little stretch where we were having to turn around. And so I was like, oh no, where are they supposed to be? Please don't supposed to be anywhere, cool or exotic, because it just isn't. It's just right here in Los Angeles County.
Well,
or it's just out. It's in Mojave, not Los Angeles, but oh dear. So that always immediately sets the tone for lameness, I guess.
Well, I mean, and that's just for us. I mean, other people that maybe have no idea aren't going to think and notice that thing. So.
Right. So as for the movie, okay, if it was PG-13.
Right.
I remember, when we first saw the trailer looked appropriately scary, creepy moments and stuff like that. Not once in the whole entire movie did I see or feel a creepy moment. It was like they put those parts together in the trailer to make them look way more unsettling than they actually was. Yeah, and I remember thinking and saying to you, this feels like a made-for-TV horror movie.
That's true.
It would be a good one for... There's a little bit of... I don't want to say adult material.
That sounds promising.
Maybe, no. Because adult isn't quite right. Everyone in this family is having some kind of a problem. So there's some marriage problems. I'm just saying, like, adult things that, like, children would be like, boring. You know, they wouldn't care about that. The one daughter, you find out she's dealing with some issues. I don't know how many I almost don't care, but because I almost would not recommend this movie.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know. The whole thing with... I'm going to talk about it. Is it okay?
Go right ahead.
Okay, because like I said, it had the feeling of totally like a kid's like scary movie that might be on for Halloween or something. But like the daughter, they made her bulimic, so there was like a couple things thrown in there that were topics that maybe children... I mean, it's important for kids to learn about or whatever, but it seemed weird in this movie. But I know the movie was trying to, part of the story was that these spirits, wreak havoc on all the members of the family. And I think the darkness was like, you kind of go to your dark place, like whatever issues you're having, you get worse.
Right. There's more to it that like they never really touched on. It just seemed to skim the surface because...
Yeah, there was really something missing.
Getting deeper into this, first of all, we didn't say that it purports at the very beginning of this to be based on a true story. So there's that. Right. There's the Anunnaki are tied into this. The end of the world prophecies. There's lots of things that I'm going to say sound cool, but you know what I mean. There's a lot more into this that like they could have gone, but you get a few information dumps, and you get this Deus Ex Machina thing where help arrives from an unexpected source, which I was kind of okay with, but it seems to come out of kind of nowhere. I mentioned that Paul Reiser was in there. He was kind of a jerk.
He was a dick.
Kind of. He was a lot of it. Which he plays that character well, and I appreciate him for it. But, yeah, there were just these things. They had the trappings of a good movie in there. They just didn't take the time to extract it.
Yeah, I think everything was there.
Yeah.
But so I almost feel like the PG-13... I mean, this is why people hate PG-13 horrors.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, The Darkness, because I'm always having to defend them. But there's really, really super great ones out there.
Right. This is not one of them.
If you haven't seen The Possession,
good stuff.
That is the best PG-13 horror ever, I think, for me. I love it. This one, it's somewhere at the bottom. Again, was it the subject matter that's... Because, your little kids are going to be not interested in a lot of this. And it wasn't, there wasn't blood and gore. There wasn't... I remember the mom yelling the F word once.
Yeah.
I think it was her.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, one F-bomb. Okay, you're allowed to do that in a PG-13. What else you got? How is this not a PG movie? I mean, it wouldn't be. Yeah. But again, the girl with her bulimia, they go into that a little bit, and it's kind of a not so great scene, not so fun scene where the mom catches her.
Right.
So there's some things that maybe you got to be prepared to, if you are watching this with your kids and they don't understand what the girl's doing, you're going to have to be prepared to have that discussion about eating disorders. Or that was a little weird for me being in there.
It seemed out of place. Again, that's why I felt it was important to bring up that it was based on a true story, because I'm wondering how much of these elements they tried to put in there to touch upon that.
Yeah, and that would have been fine if everything else was more intense like that, because then that we've got the couple, they're having marital problems. You find out, he'd done some things in the past, that were harmful to their marriage, and he was looking for forgiveness from his wife. And so they had strained things going on. And then, of course, the challenges of, raising an autistic child that you have to really keep your eye on because he was all over the place. So I just feel like there wasn't good balance maybe. Some things were a lot heavier than others.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, but when we get down to it, let's just go through quickly. Story had I would say amazing potential. There were
Okay.
elements in there. There were seeds that just never germinated and grew. The acting, what did you think about the acting? You asked me, but what did you feel about the actors themselves in there?
I think they were all really good.
You thought they were good, just trapped in a bad
maybe.
script or bad direction?
Yeah, we know Kevin Bacon can act.
Yeah.
Both the kids can act, and the actress who played the wife, I don't have her name. I might be looking at her name.
Yeah.
Radha Mitchell.
Okay.
Lucy Fry. I think they're all fine actors.
Special effects. I felt the special effects were uneven.
Okay, I was just going to say there were some good things in there, but yeah.
Then there were some that just didn't feel. I don't know. Anyhow. So all right. So let's get to it. What?
Because what did you think of what was going on supernaturally? Because it was a Native American kind of curse sort of thing that these spirits that were contained that were released.
Yeah, I felt like
that was that's sort of what made me feel like it was a story for a younger. I mean, because it was kind of a fairy tale folklore-y kind of thing.
Right, but they didn't. But that's what I was saying, that was the seeds that could be germinated into something very good, because it's great.
It could have been like
What's that?
It could have been like the Krampus movie. Like, these things could have been really gnarly,
Right.
Not just these figures that you would see walking.
Shadowy figures that were...
Yeah, they weren't super threatening.
Subtly influencing things and so on. Even that could have been played up more, and that's where it feels like the movie kind of fell flat. And
that's where it felt like a made-for-TV horror movie.
Yeah, where they dumped it. Even, what I'm thinking, and I've talked about it before, and we need to do this one day, because there's a horror movie that I saw on TV as a child, as a young adult, and never saw the end of.
Yeah?
That was The Manitou.
Okay.
I've never seen the end of that movie, and probably by today's standards, it's got Tony Curtis in it. It's probably terrible by today's standards, but it was about an ancient spirit, and it's probably not politically correct in any way, shape, or form. But anyhow,
it probably doesn't exist then.
Well, it's out there still. I think I've seen a couple other podcasts do it also, so we'll have to dig it up and find it. But anyhow, the point is, it deals with an ancient spirit coming through into our world. And I felt like even that was better than this. And these were great story potential.
Yeah.
Just executed poorly. I don't know. So anyhow, your number. What's your number on it?
Well, I kind of didn't like it.
I've got no problem with giving this a 2 with a no recommend.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you, because 2 stars out of 5 is I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Which is
sorry.
Too bad. I like the other people. I like the idea, but yeah, this movie just in itself, there's other things that you could be spending your time on.
Here's a problem too. Right on the front of the box, what does it say? From the producers of The Purge and Insidious.
Yeah, so they're selling you on. They're overselling you on what they got at this time.
Yeah, because the Insidious movies, man, those are my movies. I love those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was all over this.
Okay.
And no,
not so much.
Now I'm just over it.
No, we're just over it. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Moving on to garbage in, garbage out. I've got 3 things to cover, though we've got some other things to talk about. What I was going to say was Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yes.
Awesome. Finally catching up on, well, not catching up. I mean, we did the first season of that finally.
Yes.
What did you think about that? Were you, what did you think?
Well, he did a great job.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because we're fans from way back.
Right. So that's what it worried me, because you asked me at one point, you felt like you asked me, did it catch the spirit of it.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't